This video is going to be a little bit strange because the English speaking audience is not really the primary target of this video, but at the same time, I'm making this video in English, so it's a little bit weird, but bear with me. Um, if you're a Netflix head, you might be seeing the thumbnails or watching the show called the Culinary Class Wars, and it's a cooking competition. And I'm a big fan of the Food Network. I love cooking shows, and also I love cooking competition shows, right? And in Korea, there used to be the franchised version, localized version of the popular TV show MasterChef. And in America, I think it was hosted and ran by Gordon Ramsay. But anyway, in Korea, they used to have Master Chef Korea. And Master Chef Korea was a really entertaining show. It had 4 seasons, but then they just kind of stopped. And I was like, oh man, I could really go for another season of Master Chef Korea. But last year, actually, now I can say 2 years ago in 2024, they had this new cooking show called the Culinary Class Wars, right? And for the uninitiated, the show is basically dividing 100 chefs into classes, right? And you have 20 white class chef and the 80 black class chef. So it's like black and white is from the chessboard, but now that I say it out loud, it sounds super racist, but it's like chess is the team. But anyway, the 20 white chefs are all Michelin stars and very prestigious, like already won multiple competitions and internationally recognized and such. And the 80 are like the up and coming, the nameless, right? So the 20 people are referred to and called by their names, and the 80 people, they can't be called by their names. They're called by their nicknames, and if they make it to the final round, that's when they get to reveal their name, right? So that's where this like class war comes in. So like you have this few elite, and then you have the mass powerless, and then it's like an entire power struggle that goes through this. Okay, it was really popular in Korea, and now they have a season 2 for it, and it's running right now. But one of the people in the white chefs is a Korean monk, and it's a Korean female monk with the name of Venerable Sunjae Snim, and she is basically an expert in Korean temple food. So, what is Korean temple food? In Buddhism, there isn't really a strictly prohibited practice of like eating meat. Buddha never said don't ever eat meat. Like otherwise, it's like very you're gonna go to hell if you eat meat. It's nothing like that. Buddha just warned against following the temptations of the taste. Buddha just warned against killing other animals and killing other lives for the pursuit of my own pleasure, right? So that as Buddhism was becoming regionalized in China and Korea, somehow got translated into don't eat meat. Okay, so Korean Buddhism has a very heavy emphasis on vegetarianism. Along with that, there are 5 spices that Buddhists refrain from because, for practical purposes, because monks typically meditate together in a closed space, it makes you really gassy and it makes you bloated. And also, it's like generally spices, so it kind of riles up the taste buds and has you wanting more and things like that. So basically, it's a vegetarian diet composed of, I mean, like minus the 5 ingredients, right? And so we have this, and why the reason why I'm making this video is this monk is getting a lot of backlash, right? So this monk is getting a lot of backlash because in Korea, the primary opinion about monks is that they live in the mountains, right? And they're supposed to find their inner peace or whatever. And so they're supposed to just kind of like renounce society and then be by themselves and then run temples in the mountainside. But here we have this monk who always acts like, she's not interested in like worldly pleasures, but then she made it to, spoiler alert, she made it pretty high. And so people are like, why does this monk continue to advance into the next round while she keeps on saying that she doesn't have any aspirations or anything, right? So um not trying to defend her, because who am I to defend her? But I just wanted to shed a little bit of cultural light, and also like explain what really it is about Buddhism. Like, is this good or bad? So I wanted to shed a little light on this entire topic. So the thing is, um, in Buddhism, when we renounce society, what it means is we renounce all the systems that either benefit us or either harm us, right? So, like hierarchy, like the binary of sex, and social standings, money, and all these things are things that we follow. It's like things that we pursue. I want to be more powerful. Oh, I want to attract people from of the other sex. I want to have worldly pleasures. I want to get really drunk. I want to be really, really strong. I want to have, powerful positions and things like that, right? And when you follow those pursuits, you have the downsides of it, right? Because these are supposed to give you power. That naturally means when you don't have these things, you're powerless. So when you renounce society enough to become a monk, you're like, oh, wait, like all of these are meaningless. So I won't participate in these systems anymore. So now, you shave your head because, you're not going to participate in like the, oh, I'm going to look good, like put on makeup and then, flourish your hair and things like that. You're just going to shave off your head as a symbol of, renouncing, like, oh, I'm going to take care of myself, make myself look presentable and pretty and things like that. Um, so this is where the popular idea of just going into the mountains and meditating for hours, and that's when these ideas come about. And part of it is right? Because now that you have no distractions left, gives you ample time to reflect upon yourself and then find your true self outside of these social constructs and standings. But just because you do that, it doesn't really transcend you out of this society, right? You still have to pay taxes. You're still a citizen. And so depending on where you live as a Buddhist monk, like sometimes they take away your voting rights because you're technically not, related to the society, but you still meet people, you still interact with people. And when some temples are completely run by alms and donations, but like, a lot of the times they still need to manage their finances and such, because why? The world is still capitalistic. And, as Buddhists, like, we need to be, we ultimately, we want to be self-reliant, right? And of course, it's nice, it's appreciated when there are donations and alms offered to us, but at the same time, we don't want to solely rely on them, because it's like, especially in the modern days. In Buddha's time, it was a little bit different, but like in these days, everybody has the ability to be self-sufficient. So we try to mix in like a self-sufficient living in modern world along with renouncing the societal values, right? So just because I don't pursue victory, just because I don't pursue money, it doesn't necessarily mean that I can't do anything related to competition. It doesn't mean I can't really do anything that society offers me, right? So, there's a very big difference between like going to school because I want to learn more about something versus going to school because I need a doctorate degree to be successful, and I need to be recognized and make a lot of money, right? Just because I don't follow and pursue like this like worldly desire, um it doesn't mean that I can't do anything that the people who pursue do, right? Those are separate things. But I think many people lose on that nuance, and they think that, monks are these groups of people who are supposed to be not doing anything, who are supposed to be recluses. So, uh, and it's further complicated by the fact that in some cultures, they kind of are, right? Monks are supposed to be in the wild. They are supposed to be in nature, and they're only supposed to, interact with the public so that, you are of benefit to the public, and you mainly reside at the temple, and then, you just take care of the temple, but you just don't do, you don't go outside and do things. But, um, the discussions around like monkhood aside, in the end, I think the really important message is in Buddhism, finding happiness, finding freedom from suffering is the starting point. So, starting point to what? When you are completely free from suffering, it naturally follows that yes, could I technically not suffer from this world right now? Yes, because that part is up to me. But at the same time, it is better it is easier for me if I live in a world with less suffering in general, right? So, naturally, when all of my needs are met, it's better to live in a society when other people's needs are met. So that's why, like, the important value in Buddhism of compassion is really about, oh, now that my needs are all met, I remember how much it sucked when my needs weren't met and I was miserable. But now that I have an excess of happiness, how can I share it with the people? Because again, it benefits me to live in a society where everybody is compassionate. So once you have attained your complete freedom and your happiness, why is that important? It's because if I'm not happy and I'm serving other people, then I keep needing to sacrifice myself, right? And when I keep sacrificing myself, I'm going to resent other people because other people don't take care of me as much as I take care of them, fucking selfish bastards. It's so easy for the human mind to think in those terms, right? So I want to take care of my own happiness first. And for that, I need to understand, what am I? What is happiness? I need to spend time thinking about all of that and truly understanding, what did the Buddha mean by freedom from suffering? Like the Four Noble Truths and the three marks of existence. Because this Buddha guy, he seemed to have figured everything out. So like, how can I understand his Dharma and how can I reach his level? After that is when the true life begins, right? So this also applies to the Buddha. Why did the Buddha spend his entire life teaching other people and converting other people when he could have done anything else, since technically he was free from suffering, right? He was free from suffering, so he could technically be anywhere and do anything and still, be fine. But why did he choose to convert other people? Why did he choose to live that way of spreading the Dharma? It largely has to do with his background and upbringing, right? He was raised as a prince. He got training so that he could be the next emperor. So he was exceptionally talented at talking to kings and converting them because he knew exactly what was in the minds of kings, because he was trained to be one. So, because he was so effective in converting kings, that's why Buddhism spread very fast in the time of Buddha, right? And that doesn't mean he was bad at, converting other people, but because he was expertly trained at the art of listening, at the art of conversations, at the art of strategic conversations, at the art of understanding, like the diplomacy and things like that. He was very, it came naturally, this art of teaching this Dharma to other people. So this is sort of the way that Buddha had already paid for all of us, right? So when you have something that you are already adept at, when you have something good, when you have something that you are good at, you're naturally likely to use those resources to make the world a better place. So, for example, my teacher, Venerable Bumyun Sinin, he goes around to the poorest places in the world and helps rebuild villages and build schools. Why? Because he grew up in a really poor environment, so he understands exactly what the life of poverty is and where it needs to be addressed first, so that societies are structurally built in a way that starts sustaining itself. He understands this because of his life. So, for me, I do a lot of volunteering in translation. Why? Because turns out I'm bilingual, right? I do a lot of work in terms of technology. I do a lot of volunteering in technology because I happen to be pretty good with computers. I run this YouTube channel to talk to you guys about suffering and Buddhism because this is the way that works really well for me. I coach people one-on-one because that's the way I learned it from my dad. I have all these resources that I can use now that I am free from suffering. That's the important part, right? And so the coming back to the topic of today's video, the Venerable Sanje S님, she comes from a lineage of people who cook. Like one of her ancestors were the cook for the kings, right? And as she was before she became a monk, she used to prepare a lot of the food for the monks. And during that time, um, one of the monks had passed away from malnutrition. So that's when she thought of this as a big problem. Like, like monks are supposed to eat vegetables, but then at the same time, like, is a vegetarian diet worth dying for? Like, isn't there a way to have maintain the strict rule of vegetarianism while keeping the monks happy and while keeping the monks healthy? Because the Buddha said food is like medicine, right? So that became her mission, and that's why she pursued in the art of temple food making, and then that's why she's internationally recognized for these things. But in the end, it's less about I'm going to be famous for my temple food, but it's more for the purposes of this is the best way I can be compassionate towards those who are in need, right? Those who are suffering. So, it's different from the pursuit of taste. It's different from the taste of it's different from the pursuit of prestige and things like that. It's more like, how can we understand Korean cuisine? How can we understand the vegetarian cuisine to make it healthy for the people? How do we make best use of the ingredients that are available to us so that it serves us as medicine, so that we can be grateful to the environment and so that we can live as one, right? So that we can be the food for our food. These are, I think, the bigger picture things that some Korean people are missing because of the optics focused on this monk fucking sucks. She's so power greedy and things like that. But it ended up being a fairly long video about a topic that you're not necessarily interested in at all. But if you like food competitions, cooking competitions, I strongly recommend the show Culinary Class Wars. It's available on Netflix right now.